Welcome. In this lesson, we're going to be looking at scope within functions. As we know, JavaScript controls scope by using functions. But let's see what happens when we start to nest functions within functions, have functions inside of another function. So let's go ahead and explore how this works. We'll start off by creating a global variable. Let's call this one 0, 0. We want to inspect what these values are as we move through the hierarchy, and we'll start off at level 0. I'll write this to the console. Actually, let's hold off on that. Let's instead start our scope test. And to this we will assign an anonymous function. And inside of it we will start to create this hierarchy. Let's go ahead and declare another variable and assign it. We'll call this one level 1, and we will assign to it the value of 0, 1. Then we will repeat this pattern through a couple more levels. Let's go ahead and enter that twice. And we'll start closing these functions here in a minute. Let's go ahead and indent this one more level. And we will make changes so that we can tell where we are. Let's call this one function 0, 2. This one function 0, 3. And let's call this variable, internal variable, level 2. This one level 3. And as you can see there, we're creating a hierarchy. Let's start closing off our curly braces. This one matches, as you can tell there, it matches the one for function 3. Let's close off function 2. Let's close our expression with a semicolon. And this one matches the scope test. So let's go ahead and finish this one off. Now the next thing we want to do is we want to print the value of these variables to the console. So I've gone ahead and created a little print statement, a try catch, because in some of these cases we will get errors, and just simply so we can continue walking through the code without stopping the program, I've created a try catch. So as you can see here, actually let me get rid of the indents and move this in. Then this is simply to get the right alignment here. So as you can see here, I'm going to try to print all of the levels. I go 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 2, 0, 3, and if I get an error, I simply catch that error and write to the console. I'm going to do this a couple of times more. I'm going to do it at every function. Here it is one more time. Let's go ahead and indent, and I am getting an error here on this line. Let's go ahead and see if we can find out what it is. Try catch. Oh, we don't have the catch. Let me see. Let me make sure I go back and try to catch. Grab the whole thing. This is try catch. I've gotten rid of the error. And now I'm going to do it one last time in level 3, or in function 3. Okay, so now I'm going to put in executions for each of these levels. I'm going to first execute function 0, 3. Then I will do 2. And that will run through all of these. Okay, one last thing. I want to go ahead and write the set of print statements outside. This is simply to show what type of access, what scope we have on those variables outside of the function. So let's go ahead and move that back. And now we will try to write outside of the function, or we will try to access all of these variables. And this will execute on load. So I will try to access all of them. I should only be able to access the first level followed by an error. So let's go ahead and save this file and load this onto the console. Okay, let's go ahead and open Developer Tools. And the very first thing we should see in the console here would be level 0 followed by an error. That means that this original, or this last block that we showed that we entered into the editor, runs only up to line 49. At that point, it prints level 00, which is this first variable that we declare, and then it jumps to the catch, right? Because it has an error. Now we're going to go ahead and run scope test, and we'll see what happens. So we can see here that at the very first bit of code, which is this one over here, we run through two levels. The one that is global and the variable that we've declared at this level, which is level 1. So we have level 0, level 1, then the error. At the next tier, or the next level in the hierarchy, function 2, we should be able to run through 3 of these. And we can see that. We get 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 2, and then we get the error. On the last one, we run through all of them because all of them are in scope. So this is an illustration of what kind of scoping you can get. If we go back to the file, I'm going to go ahead and mark it up simply to emphasize the point. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and try to connect here using visually, trying to show where the functions and what the scope is. This is in scope obviously within this level. It's also in scope here, and so on. Now the other ones only start to be in scope as you access that level, so 02 and 03, and going back, all of the ones that are existing looking back at the higher levels, such as the level 00, 01, 02, depending on what level you're in, you can always look back, you can't look forward. So that's it about functions and scope and embedded functions. Goodbye.